What's going on, my broskiis? My name is Toadski, back again, here to bring you guys another One Piece Treasure Cruise video, and we're finally giving you guys a video for the 15-star difficulty Super Boss KIZUNA Clash against the 4 Emperors. So this video is just going to be showing you guys how like all of the anniversary units kind of synergize together to actually take on this content. So I know not everyone is going to be able to build these exact teams, but by utilizing the anniversary units as the friend captains, they're going to carry you pretty far. They get through a lot of the actual gimmicks by themselves, along with these rare recruits. You see that on stage 2 here, you do get inflicted with despair, which Luffy removes, and then you also have chain lock inflicted to your crew, and there's also enemies damage threshold. So with the Nami rare recruit, that removes both of those buffs, and because you can use Luffy special here, it will actually allow you to get the attack boost for the final stage as well. And if you do have double Luffy, it does allow you to use a secondary Luffy to generate the additional effect of his special, which says if you already have an attack boost, you can get a really big base attack boost instead. And then of course you've got his EX Super to grant color affinity, changing Ace and Shanks into fighter characters, and then Roger of course can generate the orb boost. So Luffy generating attack and color affinity, Roger generating the orb boost, and then because you have attack, orb, and affinity, when you activate the Luffy, the Ace, and the Shanks all together, you get their secondary effects. So with Luffy you get the base attack buff, with Shanks you get chain boundary, with Ace you get the ignite and the ignited conditional boost. And another thing about this specific fight versus the Psy variation is the enemy basically takes no damage unless if you have int slots specifically. You can obviously use some other slots like Semler and stuff, but if you generate full board of int, that's going to be your best way forward, as they are not damage reduced. So they kind of shoehorned this content to be beaten by this 10th anniversary Luffy, which is kind of annoying, and we can't really see the max damage potential right now because we just killed too early. Can't wait to see how much damage this team is actually capable of doing. Moving on now to our secondary fight versus the int variation. So with this one, we're going to be using Shanks as our main captain with the Shanks friend captain. And of course, when you're selecting a friend captain, try and select one with the highest possible, duplicate investments with the Rush Sugo special. I mean, for the early levels, it probably doesn't matter as much, but when you get into the deep levels, you definitely want like max level 5, as that will get you the most damage at the end of the day. But having a look at this variation instead, we're using Shanks here, and we've got the Sanji Brave Recruit instead, because he's a side unit, he's going to do more damage versus the int boss. So Sanji's special ability here is really good. It will remove both of the enemy's defensive effects, which is super nice. It does also remove that burn that's inflicted to your crew too, which is really good to get rid of, so you can actually hit your perfects, because Sanji says that if you hit 3 perfects, or 2 or 3 perfects I think, you do inflict increased damage taken to the opponent, which is actually really nice, because the enemy does have an interrupt on this stage. If you inflict increased damage taken with the special, then they're going to remove your beneficial effects, and it's just nasty stuff. So we're also going to be Shanks here because it allows us to carry the color affinity into that next room as well, and then we can kind of do the same thing where, because we can have the color affinity already activated, the Roger special with Shanks as our captain will grant us an attack boost instead, and then we can activate our secondary Shanks, another Ace, and the Luffy, and we get their secondary effects. Luffy base attack, Shanks getting us chain boundary, Ace giving us the ignited conditional boost, and of course all the EX supers buffing everyone's classes, and Shanks transforming Ace and Luffy into cerebral characters so that they can actually do really good damage in this instance here. And of course, we have the Super Tandem with Roger. It's not like the greatest Super Tandem ever, unless if you have it at level 5 or close to level 5, then yes, that's going to be a really nice addition. And of course, selecting a friend captain with high rush Sugo special, ideally finishing off with the friend captain for the final tap so that their rush does the most amount of damage possible. So of course, you don't specifically need these units. There's actually not a lot of gimmicks in this content compared to some of the other Super Boss KIZUNAs we've had over the past few months. But it's definitely nice when you have this set of characters, and Roger is definitely useful here. He removes that attack down, and the Rainbow Shield can get removed by using the Shanks special, of course. So, of course, if you don't have, you know, your own copy of these Shankses, then you could definitely synergize with some of your Alliance members to get this done. But it is really dependent on some of the characters you have. I will have another video coming up soon with additional teams, but I wanted to show you guys how these anniversary units can kind of take on this content. And then jumping now into the final boss, which is the quick variation, and of course we're going to be using Ace as our captain this time around. So there's going to be special reverse and paralysis on stage 2, which Ace covers by himself, but there's also damage immunity on the final stage for 1 turn. So if you don't have 2 aces, you will have to use someone that can remove that effect, or you could just, you know, use Ace on stage 2, so you actually have an orb boost still on that last stage, because it does carry through, of course. But if you don't do that, then you will have to then find someone that can deal with special reverse and also, you know, with the paralysis on stage 2. So it's just easier, even if you don't have your own Ace, you can have Ace friend captain, use his special on stage 2, the orb boost will still carry through, and then you will just have to bring someone to remove damage nullification, which is a little annoying, no doubt about that, but it's just kind of like what you have to do if you don't have the right units, of course. But of course, I will be having additional videos moving forward where I'll try not to use any of the anniversary units, because I know some people may enjoy that kind of thing. But of course, we're just doing the same thing where we have Ace's buffs carried over into the next room, using Roger special, which will grant us color affinity with his effect, Ace's EX super transforming Shanks and Luffy into shooter characters, so they are actually boosted by Ace's captain ability and Ace's special and everything like that. Zora's really good to remove the threshold and the defense up. It does grant us chain boost as well, which is nice because if you activate any type of chain addition or chain multiplicative buff on the last stage, the enemy will inflict remove beneficial effects, special bind and stuff like that. So it's just better to use that Zora there, removes those buffs, carry them into the last room, and then just use a bunch of specials. And of course you get the double stacking effects of Ace, ignited conditional boost, base attack boost from Luffy, chain boundary with the Shanks, and it does do a pretty hefty amount of damage. I'm really excited to see with these max friend captains just how much damage it can do. I'm sure these are not the best teams that you can build because it's not abusing rush, final tap, and super tandem, so I wonder if that's going to be like the way forward. Like, is it actually better to just use a team that doesn't have final tap because final taps are kind of mid, or, you know, we'll have to wait and see. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you go ahead and leave a like, and if you want to stay up to date with all the content that I post, including more One Piece Treasure Cruise content, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. On that, guys, I'll see you guys within the next video.
Luffy